welcome back. I'm Erin, the Two Martini Stitcher, and this is my channel mostly about cross stitch. It's a crafty channel. It's mostly cross stitch and a tiny little bit of knitting because I have started knitting and show that a little bit here too, since it seems like there's a lot of us that are multi-craftual. So just throw it all in, why not? So welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. I'm so glad to have you back for another cross stitch happy hour. Cheers! Today we had some wine left over. We had a yummy spaghetti meatball dinner last night. Had some wine left over. So it seemed like the perfect thing for cross stitch happy hour. It is Monday, October 19th. And yeah, I'm downstairs. I have to do a little running around later this evening to pick up the youngest from the dance studio. So I'm trying to sneak this in before the husband's done with work for the day, and I need to fix dinner for what family is around. You guys know how it goes. Like, hardly ever know who's around for dinner on any given night, but I think tonight it's myself and the husband, and the middle daughter will be home a little later. So I'll be cooking for the three of us. No idea what's going on for dinner tonight. Don't know what I'm fixing, but isn't that just like, do you all find that to be the toughest question? What's for dinner? What's for dinner? I actually kind of cheat big time. A fan of the meal delivery services. So we subscribe to actually a couple and tend to just switch off depending on what the menus look like. And that will usually take care of 2 meals a week. I don't have to think that hard about what's for dinner. Love that. So, but what's happening before then? What's happening before dinner? I feel like I don't have a lot of works in progress to show you. Don't have a lot of whips, but I do have finishes. I believe it was Julie, Kansas City girl in a Colorado world, that declared this past weekend International Flosstube FFO weekend. Yay! And we're all in. I've got a little like bug flying around in here, so I'm sorry if you can see it or if it's clearly annoying me. But International Flosstube FFO weekend, whenever one of us declares it is. It is not a regular recurring thing. Pretty much if someone decides that they want to get some FFOing done and wants to make it a party, it's a party. And I had a few things sitting around that I really, really wanted to get done. And I had a couple FFOs come back from Acorns and Threads. So I've got finishes and fully finishes for you this week. And also some works in progress. We'll talk some plans. I'll show some knitting. I got quite a bit of happy mail this week, so let's jump right in. I'm thinking that we should jump in with finishes because they're sitting here on top of everything. So we'll do those first. The first one of these, the first finish I'm going to show you, I actually finished stitching this past week as well. So I was working on this. I finished it on Saturday. And then on Sunday, decided to do some FFOing. And this I started just a little over a week ago. And I know I had shown you the start. It was for Heather, link is my homeboy's hashtag last minute birthday Sal. And it's Owl and Bats. It came out so cute. So I know I had shown you last week, I had gotten these little blacks from Target. There was a 3-pack of them. So I just turn the little hanger around and spray painted it black because the back was this wood color. So I spray painted it black, added a little bit of this laser cut felt. This is just felt, so it's nice and thin. This laser cut felt rickrack, and it's all done. I love it. I don't know where I'm gonna hang it up. Somewhere. I'm gonna hang it up somewhere around here. So that was my first FFO. And this pattern came out of the October issue of Just Cross Stitch magazine. And I did it on a piece of 32 count haunted linen by Picture This Plus. And it's anchor black, B5200, a limited edition. The orange is a limited edition Color and Cotton that came from the Harvest Box last year. And the gray is Color and Cotton Marsh. So there we go. That's first FFO. And I thought that I was going to be able to FFO it exactly the same as this next one, but it was a little too big. So that's why I ended up using this plaque, because I thought that it might fit just like I was doing this one. So this, you might recognize, is Michelle Bendy's Halloween ornament. And it was, I don't know if she's released this. She was talking about releasing it. I don't know if she released it, but if you are a subscriber to her on either YouTube or Patreon, she gave it out for free to, it's not a freebie, but it was like kind of an exclusive to her Patreon and YouTube subscribers, and she did a contest for the model stitch. So we all got to stitch this up. So this is my rendition. I used that same piece of fabric, and this was a little ornament, a little Christmas. They were little Christmas plaques. It's stuck down. I can't show you. It doesn't matter. It's all black now. But they were little Christmas painted, like toy shop, candy shop, whatever. And they were just painted. And I spray painted it black and did that. And I thought that I could do this one the same way. I was planning to do this. I just hadn't spray painted it yet. But this one ended up being just a smidge too big. But I think that they still kind of coordinate. I still think they kind of coordinate nicely. And I'll hang them up around here somewhere. Okay, so that's two. I still have one more fully finished. And did I finish stitching this last week as well? Let me look. I did. So two of these things, I finished the stitching and FFO'd last weekend. Who am I turning into? You'd think that I'm like Becca from Sambry Stitches, or Helen, who actually just stitches stuff and FFOs them. They're rubbing off on me. They are good influences. And you should watch both of them if you do not, because they are both prolific stitchers and they do beautiful fully finishes. And they're so fun to watch. So check out both of those channels if you're not already watching them. However, if you're new here, this is not my MO to finish stitching things and fully finish them right away. But it is in Get It Over. I declared October hashtag Get It Over, which was the genius hashtag that was given to me by Jenny Long Dog Stitcher. So I was saying I wanted to finish up a bunch of things in October. She said hashtag Get It Over. And I went, yep, that's what it's going to be. So this has been a focus on a finish month for me. So this, I finished stitching last week and got it FFO'd. Are you ready? I'm so happy with this. This came out. It's Home of a Needleworker Squared by Little House Needleworks. So I think I was pretty close to finishing this when I showed it to you last week, but I'll get it up close so you can see the stitching. And I just did a simple flat finish on here and stuck it on. And I will tell you, I got this door at Target maybe last fall. It was in their dollar spot. It was $7. I still have the tag on it. And I bought the door and immediately knew, I didn't even have this chart yet, but I knew that this chart was what I wanted to put on it. So I stitched this on a 32 count. It's a mystery linen I got from Stash Unload with all the called for colors. And I stitched it on 32 knowing that it would fit this spot exactly. So there we go. So this is going to hang up, I think maybe in my entryway. Gosh, it would look great here on this wall, wouldn't it? Maybe I'll put it in here somewhere. That'd be kind of fun. I'm not sure that this is totally finished FFO'd. I feel like it needs a little something. I am more of a minimalist in general, so I'm not one to put a whole bunch of like picks and bows and stuff around it, but I actually think maybe what it needs is one of those tiny little faux greenery wreaths. That's kind of what I think, or maybe just a little like that, like really thin like branches of greenery, something. Let me know if you have thoughts. It's not going to be like bells and bows and covered buttons, and that's not my decorating aesthetic. It's super cute and pretty, and I love watching people do it, but it just wouldn't fit in with my decor if it had a bunch of stuff. But I do feel like it needs a little something. I had tried a little bit of trim around it, but I really do want the stitching to kind of speak for itself. So I love how it came out. Okay. So those are those. Should I show you my fully finishes from Acorns now? Why not? Why not? Because these, cute. The finishing I got back from Jolyn at Acorns and Threads, you're going to die. I'll show you right now. I had taken these down in August, middle of August, I think, and dropped them off at Acorns and Threads for their finisher, Jolyn. And I will link her Instagram so you can see her other amazing finishing. I will link that below. But she does the soft finishing at Acorns. So I dropped these off. They had been done for a few weeks. I thought that maybe I would get down there to pick them up. Didn't happen, so I just called them up and said, can you ship them to me? Which they did. They're so lovely. All right. So the first thing I dropped off for Jolyn, if you will recall, because I had said I was going to do this, is Tingles. Are you ready? This is just amazing. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I can't even. Okay, here we go. So this is how she finished it, as this like wall hanging. Can you even? Okay, so I'm going to show you. It has a pocket in the back. So I think I do need to get some kind of maybe bell pull hanger. But actually for now, I just have it on this black ribbon and I think it kind of works. So it hangs on our powder room door down here on the outside on a hook. But I'm going to get it up close so you can see her amazing work. So look at this. There is, so here's my stitching on the orange. She has yellow. She has this burnt orange fabric, the black, the rickrack that she has sewn on. This is what you need to know about Jolyn's finishing. It is all totally archival. Like there's no glue. There's no glue involved. She hand sews all of this. Look at that. And then this is the fabric on the back. She's got her little hand stitching here too. It is amazing. I love it. I now want to send her all the things. Maybe not all the things, but a lot. I now have another pile. I now have another pile that maybe I'll get down there in November. We'll see, to drop off some more things. But here we go. Tingles, fully finished. Yay! And then these charts got auctioned off. Michelle auctioned them off for her charity auctions, and they are already on their way to their new owner, where hopefully they will get stitched again, and I love it. Okay, so that was the first thing I sent her, and then the second thing I gave her were my parents' Christmas presents. I stitched for them back in July, during Jolly July. I did Heartstring Sampleries Advent candle ornament set. And I'm telling you, these came and I forgot how tiny they were because I did them on 40 count. They're adorable. But wait till you see the beautiful little ornaments. She did a pillow finish ornament on them. And they are just, look at them. Aren't they amazing? Okay, I'll get this one up close so you can see. So, oh, there we go. And she did, look how beautifully filled it is. And then the really pretty detail on the back. Is that focusing? Yeah, there it is. The little twisted hanger. They are just absolute perfection. I love them so much. And hello, Christmas gift for parents, done. Check. That's it. That's as far as I've gotten. I'm not an early shopper at all, but I probably should start to think about it. Can you believe that? We kind of need to think about it because it's almost Halloween, because otherwise it'll sneak up on me. Yay for fully finished objects, both that I did And I was smart enough to send to other people. That's what I'm going with. It is very smart. Very smart to send it to wonderful, talented people. And I will definitely be sending out more of my finishes to be FFO'd by other talented individuals like Jolene. Okay, so what did I work on? So those were two things. There were two things in those piles that I actually stitched on this week. Owl and Bat's Home of a Needleworker that were both finishes. But what else did I work on? Well, full coverage project this week was, in rotation this week, was Harry Potter book covers, whoop, upside down, by Fox and Teacup Designs. And man, there were quite a few nights that I was just beat at the end of the night and this did not get as much love. And I feel like I've said that all month about my full coverage pieces. So I may be changing up a little bit how I do full coverage, or at least working in more dedicated time to them. But this is where I got to. I still got some decent work on it. I think in my head, I wanted to have all this Y done, and I'm a couple blocks away from getting the rest of that Y done. But you can see I'm getting down. This here is the beginning of like the illustration. So, I mean, there's a little tiny bit here, but we're getting down into the illustration part of this book, and I think it still looks great. Looks great. Love it. So that's Harry Potter book covers progress, and then this week I'll bring back out Farewell to Anger. So Farewell to Anger will be in rotation this week for full coverage. I also worked every day. This did get some love. Every day is Hello Dear Mystery Stitch Along by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. And it releases every other week, so there'll be a new release next Monday, which is good that I have another week to get a little closer because I still haven't finished part 1, but I'm very close. I will for sure finish part 1 this week and get started on part 2. So here is where I got to on Hello Dear. So you can see I am really close to finishing up part 1. There's a branch here. There's a branch here, and I need to finish this one, and there's another little leaf here, and then that's all that's left of part 1. And then I'll move up here, and part 2's up here with a cute little squirrel. So this has been just super fun, and I love giving this. This is the first thing I stitch when I sit down. Mondays also don't get a lot of stitchy time. Like I haven't even started. It's 5 o'clock. I haven't been able to get to any stitching today. And the days that I film, I don't get a lot of stitching, especially if I need to spend 2 hours driving down to the girls' dance studio and back. So, but this is the first thing I stitch on every day, and I put at least one length of thread in, usually 2, and then I'll move on to whatever else is kind of planned for the week. Okay, so let's see, what else did I work on? Let's see, Home of a Dear Needle. Oh, last Monday, I had told you that when I was going to go, as soon as I was done filming, I was going to stitch up this chart, and I did. No New Worlds by Ardith Designs. And I'll put that link again below to her Gumroad where you can get this pattern. So this is No New Worlds. And this was a super quick stitch. So I just started it and finished it. It's on a great big piece of fabric. And there it is. It came out so great. This bit of floss here, you see it better in real life than you do in the camera. It does blend in a little bit, but I don't mind it at all. This was done on River Rock. So this is Color and Cotton 36 count River Rock. And I used the Forbidden Fiber floss from the Black Needle Society Fall Into Stitching box. It's Forbidden Fiber Company Scarecrow. And this floss was just amazing. I love it's speckled, almost like speckled yarn is, because they Forbidden Fiber Co. does yarn too. They I think they started doing yarn and have now branched out into floss, but it's speckled like some speckled yarn is, and it is so pretty. So finish this. I need to measure it. I think I'm going to do a hoop finish on this, or I'm considering jumping on the cross stitch journal thing. I was thinking, I love watching everybody do their journal, and Michelle Garrett, Bendy Stitchy, hers is just amazing. She's got so many amazing things in her journal. But I was thinking, well, I don't know what I would stick in there if I had one. And then this kind of screams, put me in a journal, write about why I stitched it. So that's why I didn't FFO this one this weekend, because I'm thinking about maybe a journal. How many of you have jumped on the stitchy journal train? I worry that if I had a stitchy journal, I would never really open it and look through it. But at the same time, I have finishes sitting in a drawer. So let me know. Do you have a stitchy journal? Do you love it? Do you have a particular one you like? I'm thinking about it. I'm contemplating the stitchy journal. I'm not particularly artistic, so the thought of embellishing the stitchy journal seems a little intimidating to me, but that's okay. All right, so that was Monday. On Tuesday, the 13th, it was Annie's birthday. It was Annie's 40th birthday. Yay! And she was doing a birthday stitch along, #joy-filled birthday Sal. And I started, this was one of her birthday starts. She started 4 things on her birthday. Love it. This was one of them. What a Time to Be Alive by Heartstring Samplery. This is an exclusive chart to Acorns and Threads. So you call them, they will ship it to you. But that is the only place to get it. And it's gorgeous. It's charted in different colors, but the model was stitched in just the one color of cream. So pretty. So I started this on Tuesday for Annie's birthday, and I am stitching it on a piece of 32 Count Boot Camp by Be Stitch Me. And I'll tell you what, I'll be honest. I love this piece of Boot Camp linen, but I have another piece of Boot Camp that is very tan, and this piece of Boot Camp is very green. And so I don't know which color is really Boot Camp, because they are 2 totally different colors. Totally different colors. I love this piece, but I can't guarantee you that if you order Boot Camp from Be Stitch Me, I don't know that it will be this color, because I also have some that is a tan. So, but this piece is a beautiful green, and I started stitching this with Be Stitch Me Silk in autumn. Her things are 50 yards, so I actually need to probably find another thread drop to put it on, because it is so much silk. They're beautiful. Her silks are a fantastic deal. So this is my start on What a Time to Be Alive, and I love it. I think I'm going to do the words in a solid, and I'm thinking I'm going to do them, because this was my other choice potentially, was to do it just all in this color instead of the, but you can see it coordinates really beautifully with the autumn silk. So I think I'm going to do the words in this Mrs. Sadis 07. So that's the plan, and that's my little start. And since this was a birthday stitch along for one of my absolute best stitchy friends, I put it in the Friends Love You More Studio Co. book sleeve that Annie sent me. And then I have a Friends needle minder that says I'll be there for you. That was sent to me by Jen Upton. So this is like all things stitchy friends. And what a time to be alive. I'm telling you, I don't think I would be faring as well mental health wise through this year if it were not for this stitchy community and my stitchy friends. That's facts. Very grateful. So I feel like this is like a friend stitch. Okay. What else did I work on? Home of a Needleworker I finished on Wednesday. Owl and Bats I finished on Saturday. And so that just leaves me with one last whip that I worked on. One last work in progress I worked on. Is this like saying a local LNS? Okay. Yesterday was the 18th, and on the 18th I work on Stars Bright by Lindy Stitches. This is what I consider, I had a floss missing. It was still in the bag. Okay. This is what I started for my anniversary back in April on the 18th. And so I work on it on the 18th of every month. And I will show you where I got to. I am stitching this on a 36 count linen in Frozen Fractals by Hand Dyed by Stephanie with all the called for colors. Because Stephanie Webb is a genius, so you don't mess with her colors. No, you can totally mess with her colors. I don't think that she cares, but I don't, because she is way better at color than I am. So there we go. This is where I got to. So I filled in this. I had the frame almost all done for this granny square. So I did that granny square, and then I started the words because I had originally thought that I would do the entire border, and these granny squares are really fun to stitch, but I thought, like, this month I was starting to feel like, do I want to do like another 1.5 granny squares? I don't know. So I think I'm going to work this page by page, because there's maybe one more granny square here and one more here, and then all the middle stuff on that page. So I think I'm going to start working this page by page, so it'll give me a little bit of border, a little bit of inside. So, and I love stitching words. So that's where I got to. On the anniversary stitch, we didn't have like a big anniversary this past year. It was our 22nd anniversary. I just love that, and it reminds me of us, so I started it on our 22nd anniversary. Maybe it'll be done by our 25th. That'd be fun, and I'll get it all framed up, and it'd be really pretty. I think that's a reasonable goal, given how I'm progressing on it, just stitching on it one day a month. All right, do we want to see some knitting? How about some knitting? I did work on a couple knitting things this week. It's all gonna fall over. You guys have no idea. Stuff stacked everywhere. Stuff stacked everywhere. Okay. I gently moved it to the floor before it just banged down to the floor. Okay. So the first knitting project I worked on this week was another, instead of a stitch along, a knit along with Annie Joy-Filled Stitcher. We are knitting together this little shawlette, the Lentilla by Martina Bem. And we both picked beautiful yarns from Treehouse Knits. This is mine. It's a fingering weight in the Seattle, in the colorway Seattle. I mean, how perfect is that? Actually, it's a little more gray than that out there, but it's so pretty. And so I did another ruffle on this. I love this because every little ruffle feels like an accomplishment. So here we go. You can see that's where I started, and then I put in another little ruffle. So, and it's really starting to like ruffle up, and I love it. I love it so much. So there we go. So this is my knit along with Annie, and I just did one ruffle. I would have kept working on this, but then I felt this very strong, the weather really turned here. It became very fall weather, which I'm so happy about. And I felt a very strong urge to cake up and cast on the yarn I showed you last week that I got from Treehouse Knits. I think I showed it last week. So I decided to cast on, new cast on. Yay, it's like a new start. It's a new knitting start. Like a new start it is. I decided to cast on the Honey Cowl using the beautiful DK weight yarn I got from Treehouse Knits. And this is their September like mystery colorway. I mean, how September, October is that yarn? and it's DK, so it's squishy. Okay. So this was very exciting because this is my first time joining knitting in the round. I'm knitting these on size 8. Yeah, size 8, 32-inch circular needles. And I joined it all up in the round. And here I am so far. Look at that. In there. I know this looks crazy, but trust me, it's not twisted. Trust me, I checked 1,000 times. It's not twisted. It's just when I push it down onto the cord, it bunches up a little bit. Pardon me. So I got the first couple setup rows of stockinette done, and then I've done, I don't know how many rows. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do, because I have a spreadsheet for that. For all of you who saw that post about my new whip spreadsheet, that was supposed to go out to my channel members. And I totally didn't set it, so it went out to everybody. So you guys kind of got a little bit of a peek, if you're not a channel member, of what some of the things that my channel members see each week. And you also got to see my obsession with spreadsheets. But I do have a spreadsheet for this pattern. So I've gotten like 4 repeats done of that little, what does she call it? Slip stitch honeycomb pattern. And this, I do think shows it in, it actually looks so different in a like monochromatic yarn. I think I'm going to want to do it again, probably in a monochromatic, but I love how this colorway is looking all knitting up. And it's really fun. So I actually cast on, the pattern has a short version and a long version. So it says you could do a short version with 1 skein, or a long version with 2, and it would be 11 inches wide, I think. I can't remember. I decided I only have 1 skein. That's all I got. But I decided I wanted it to be a little longer, and I'm fine with it being narrower. So I cast on 200 stitches, which is more than the shorter version, less than the longer version. Look at me, I'm already going off book with the knitting. But I cast on 200 stitches, and yeah, I'm so excited. So that's that. Okay, so I worked on that, and now I think I'm going to rotate back. Starting today, I'm going to work on my grandmother's shawl a little bit and get the next lace section done. So that's kind of my plan with the knitting, is I'm going to do a section on my grandma's shawl and then do a little bit on one of these projects and then go back and do another section. So I did a little bit on my lentilla, which is so beautiful, but the weight of it, I feel like, is more of a spring. Like I would wear that a lot in the spring. And right now I'm very much feeling all the fall vibes, and bring me all the super squishy, warm knits. So that's the knitting. Yay! And I think I had mentioned that I was doing a little knitting workshop over the weekend on basic knit fixes. It was fantastic. It was so fun. Annie was the one who turned me on to it, and she was there, and it was really nice to have a friend in the virtual class, have a familiar face there. And I thought it was really helpful. I feel like I learned a lot, and I'm more prepared maybe to fix a mistake should that happen. And the instructor, I thought, did a great job over Zoom, and I actually am already signed up for, she has a set of 3 classes next month. So it's like every Tuesday for 3 weeks, where you knit a stocking ornament. And so you're essentially learning how to make socks. So, but you're just doing one, and it's a stocking ornament. So it's a small scale version of a sock, but you learn all of the parts of a sock. So I'm very excited about that. My youngest is very excited because she's been begging me to learn to make socks, but I did a little looking around and digging around, and they still kind of intimidate me a little bit. So, all right. So that is all the works in progress and finishes and knitting. So that brings us to plans. I feel like I'm flying through this, but it won't feel that way probably when I get to mail. Okay, so plans going forward. So this week, I'm going to be working on Farewell to Anger, Hello Dear every day. And I'm going to keep going with Get It Over. So this week I do have a couple like monthly projects that will come out. Friday is Turkey Bay's birthday. So Turkey Bay, my whip Turkey Bay is a year old, and so I will work on that on its birthday on Friday. And then Saturday is the 24th, so I'll work on Duke Clover on the 24th. But other than that, it's going to be Hello Dear, Farewell to Anger, and Get It Over. So I finished Owl and Bat on Saturday, so I get to pick a new project to focus on finishing, and I think it's going to be Scatter Pumpkins. I think that I'm going to look. I have a little pile that I had started at the beginning of the month. So there's some other options. I'll see what tickles my fancy, but I think it might be Scatter Pumpkins. So hopefully maybe that'll be a finish next week. Let's just keep rolling with the finishes. Yay! I do, however, feel like I'm so enjoying focusing on all these finishes, finishing up these projects that are close, right? However, I am starting to feel like it's so tempting to just keep doing that, right? Focusing on the one that's closest to a finish, but then that's going to leave me with nothing but my great big projects that I'm starting to think I'm neglecting a little bit. I mean, it's only been a couple weeks. They're fine. They're fine. But if I kept down this path, I would feel like I was neglecting them a little bit. Annie and I were chatting about her plans on how she's going to work on all of her projects. If you have not watched her video from this week, go check it out, because she did kind of like a start all the things right up until her birthday, and now she's doing a really fun challenge for herself to get her project count down to 42 by her 42nd birthday. So she just turned 40. She's got 2 years. And so we were chatting plans, and she's going to be doing some like wheel spinning based on size, and it got my mind thinking about that, and it might be a good way to kind of mix things up. So I'm playing with that. A little bit. I got to figure out what size everything is. I think I'm going to go with like pretty broad, generic, small, medium, large categories, honestly. But I am working on that whip spreadsheet. So this brings me to a question. It's not really plans, but sort of. Let's have a chat. Every week, I do very extensive show notes. I listen to my video back to make sure I put everything in that show notes that I say will be linked below, and I include all the details on every project I show you. Do you find that helpful? Do you find that useful? Do you look at it and use it? I'll give you a moment to answer. If you do, if people find that super useful and really like having that there, I will continue to do that. But I'm also thinking that as I fill in that spreadsheet, would a link to my whip spreadsheet that has all that information be something that would suffice? Like if you could click a link and see all the information for all my whips, I could do that. I could just link you to that spreadsheet on my Google Drive. It's actually my OneDrive. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I can give you a link to it. So let me know. For sure, all of that whip information will still be there until I get that spreadsheet fully populated. But now I'm thinking I need a size category. I need to go in and look at the exact size. I'll probably do a square, a puck square it kind of like Stitch to Stash does. And I'm thinking if it's 100 by 100 and under, that's a small. If it's between 100 and 200, that'll be medium, and anything over 200 will be large. And I think I'm going to do some kind of wheel spinning so that I'm getting a mix of all those projects. So I'll get a little small one, a medium one, a big one, get my hands on it every week, because I'm finding that as I'm getting more projects, I feel less compelled to do the challenge groups. I do love doing semi-sane games, the games in semi-sane, although I'm not sure that there are any that I'm participating in this month, but there's a couple for next month. So I do like those. But the other challenge groups, I'm just finding myself less and less compelled, partially because I was starting to force in what I wanted to work on onto prompts instead of letting the prompts lead me to what I wanted to work on, if that makes any sense. So, and as I'm getting more projects, I'm just finding other ways to work on them, I guess. I don't know. So, there is my train of thought musing that you all just got treated to. I can always stretch this video out no matter what. Even if I think I'm going quickly, I seem to stretch it out. Okay, so that's plans. Let's do Happy Mail. So I told you that I got a package from Acorns and Threads. I think some of that is over there. There were a couple other things in the package as well, in addition to the finishing. The first thing is when I knew that they were sending me my finishing, that can't come by itself. Nothing can come by itself, right? And I know that I've talked about doing the Zimmerman coverlet. Ellen Reed started a stitch along for this because it was inspired by her family's heirloom coverlet, charted by Modern Folk Embroidery. On the 10th, she started a stitch along for this. I didn't have my supplies yet. I wasn't quite ready. However, I knew I had plenty of linen in stash. And because the proceeds from this chart, not all of it, but a portion of the proceeds from this chart are being donated to the Red Door. It's a shelter in Toronto. And so I thought, well, then I got to stitch it in red. And I think it'd be stunning in red. I know I had talked about doing a drum, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this motif here as the top of the drum, and then this repeat along the side around the outside. The only thing I don't know is I think I need to stitch this first, right? So that I know how big that is. And then somehow I need to math to figure out how much of this repeat I need to stitch. Or do I need to go the other way around? I think I can just leave like extra fabric around here to make sure, because I want it to line up, right? That's a problem for future me. What I needed was thread because it's going to take quite a bit of thread. So I was stash diving and I found, I really only have like one skein of any color, but I found it was a, what color was it? Do I have it sitting over here? I don't think I do. What color was it? It was a classic Colorworks. Bing Cherry maybe? I can't remember, but I thought, ooh, that's a beautiful red. But if I'm gonna get thread from Acorns and Threads, pretty sure it needs to be Gloriana. If you know anything about Janine at Acorns and Threads, you know she loves Gloriana. And I thought, I'm gonna do this piece in a beautiful monochromatic. I'm getting some Gloriana thread. So I told her, this is the color I'm thinking. You pick out something in that vein. And this is what she sent me. It is Rosewood Gloriana. And I think 3 skeins should do it because this is 12 stranded. So I think 3 skeins should do it. I've paired it up with this Color and Cotton. This was the August special edition fabric for Fabric of the Month. What do we think? I have gone back and forth with fabric on this. I can't tell you how many pieces of linen I've pulled out, but I keep coming back to this one because I just think it's going to make the silk shine. So this came from Acorns and Threads, and I'm so excited. I had told myself if I finished Owl and Bats that I would let myself start this, but now I feel like I want to eke out one more finish. I'm going to look and see how close Scatter Pumpkins is because I think it's pretty close. If I can get that finished and this started before Friday, that's the goal. Okay. So more plans, more plans. The other thing that was in my box from Acorns and Threads that I was not expecting is this, which I have not opened because I'm not supposed to open it until Saturday. Although you can kind of see. I don't know. I mean, I knew that they were mailing it out, and it just makes sense that they put it in the same box. I think I might have even said, hey, if you want to wait to send that stuff to me until you're sending me my kit for Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit, that's fine by me. That's what this is. This is all the kits and all the stuffs for Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit, which was supposed to happen in September in person. It didn't. Boo. And it's going to be all online. So that's this weekend. So I've been a good girl. I haven't busted it open, even though it's been sitting here tempting me. We're all going to open them together at 10 o'clock on Saturday. So excited. So this will be my first retreat ever since StitchCon was canceled. I mean, even though it's virtual, I'm counting it my very first Stitchy retreat. Okay, what else came in the mail? It was a good mail week, guys. Settle in. Settle in. It was a good mail week. I got this lovely package from Georgia. I ordered this bag from Diana. It is Kismet. She was selling some of them she posted them up on her Instagram, and I could not resist. She makes the most amazing project bags. Look at the animals in their fancy wear for their portraits. That's amazing. And I love this size. She does full-size bags, but I love this size because there's a lovely note from her. And she stuck a chart in there for me too. She's such a doll. But they fit this size chart perfectly. So like all these plum streets, almost all the plum streets are this size. There's a lot of these like half sheet size charts. And since I stitch in hand and don't need a Q-snap in my project bags, I love this size. So that's from Diana. It is Kismet. I'll link her below. Her Flosstube. And then if you follow her on Instagram, she sometimes sells bags. And they're amazing. So that came. I also got a package from, you guys, you all know. Look at this. It's a cat in a witch hat saying, hi, Erin, from Lindy Stitches. I placed an order directly with Stephanie at Lindy Stitches because I had to have this new release of hers. And then, you know, she has floss packs for them, and she carries a nice selection of trims. So they all had to come together. But this was what I was after. This is her new release, Autumn Royalty. This guy is getting stitched first. I mean, look at him. Prince of Pies. What? And then Lord of the Gourds and Count of Candy. And I was going through the Halloween. I don't know if she intended this. I'm going to grab it. Hold on, because I know it's sitting right over here. I mean, it's a mess over here, but it's an organized mess. Okay, so I was going through the Just Cross Stitch Halloween edition again, flipping through it. And there is a chart in here from Lindy Stitches. And I know it's not royalty, but look at this. Gray Fellows. Doesn't that kind of look like it coordinates? Like, I think I'm going to do all 4 of these on coordinating fabric. And then finish them somehow? I don't know. But I think it kind of goes. Am I crazy? I think they kind of go. So all 4 of these are going to get stitched up. I did get the floss pack that goes with the chart. And then I also, while I was there, picked up some trims because she's got great trim. Like, she carries the Lady Dot trims. So I got some Pom Pom in Robin Egg and Witchy. She also does carry the finishing pack for this that has the Rick Rack and ribbon and all the stuff to, not the fabrics, but the trims. You can buy the trim pack to go with this as well. But I wasn't really sure how I was going to finish them. So I didn't get that trim pack, but I got some other trims. So that was from Lindy stitches. See, I got to figure out a way to get starts in here too into these plans. Okay, because those need to be started. I got my So Much to Love bag of the month for October. It's so good. It's so good, guys. So I'm in the club. I think it's still open to sign up for next year. So if so, I will put the sign up link below. This is my absolute favorite monthly subscription thing I get. The fabric and flosses are beautiful and I love them. And I don't know if it's just because this is kind of an extra indulgence thing. Like, you don't really need a project bag. If you're going to stitch, you need fabric and floss. Probably not as much as I have, but you know, you need fabric and floss. But the project bags, I love this. I love this club. So she always sends some tea. And it's decaf pumpkin spice. I'm going to drink that when I get home tonight. She also sent for us in October caramel apple pop. I love these. I love these. And the dance studio always would give these out to the kids on the week of Halloween. They are usually so not anti, but they want the kids to be healthy, right? So they really discourage candy and fast food and whatnot. But the director loves these, so she gives them out to the kids the week of Halloween. And I always try to take them, and they never let me have them. She also included 2 beautiful Victoria Motto flosses. So this is Autumn Splendor and Falling Leaves. How gorgeous are those? God, this one's so good. They both are. And then we got a little chart that she designed called Fall. Look how cute this is. Check out the little chickadee, little acorn, because I'm pretty sure she drew inspiration from the bag. Because look at that. It totally matches, right? I'm not crazy, right? I love it. Love it. So the inside is this really pretty orange leaf with the rickrack and little felt heart. Love these bags. Love, love, love. So that's bag of the month. And then I told you guys, told y'all, good mail week. Good mail week. I also got, speaking of clubs, I got my Color and Cotton. And I don't get mine from Color and Cotton. I get them from Trish at Threads Entwined. So she has a Color and Cotton floss club. So I get 5 skeins of Color and Cotton from her every month. And these are, I'm trying to make them all look nice. These are the ones that I received this month, which, like, they're so pretty. They're so pretty. And I love this gray. I think grays are hard to find, really good grays and overdyes. And this is Chimney Sweep. And I love it. I think it's great. See how it goes from light to dark gray? That's a good one. So that's the 5 skein club. I think she has a 10 skein club as well of Color and Cotton, but that's the 5 skein from Threads Entwined. And then I have one more piece of Happy Mail. So this wasn't something I purchased. Someone who watches the channel reached out to me and said that they had some charts that they were not going, either had stitched or weren't going to stitch, and wanted to know if I wanted them. Said she had some By the Bay needle arts, which I don't know why I don't have any By the Bay. I love them. They're beautiful. And so I said, absolutely. And she said, if you don't want to stitch them, you can use them as giveaways. And she sent a lovely, lovely package. She sent some stickers. How cute are these? These are definitely going to go on giveaway packages this winter. And then these are the charts she sent. So some of these may end up being giveaways, and some of them I'm going to stitch, starting with this one, By the Bay Old Brick House. I love these flowers. That is just so pretty. And it says peace down here. I really like that. And then does it say home? Yeah. Home, peace, love. I really like that. That's so pretty. This one's also really pretty. Early American Garden. Look at these trees. I feel like By the Bay does the best trees. They just have the most they chart the most amazing trees. So that one's really pretty. Then she also sent along this cute little country cottage Needleworks. It's one of the Snow Village. Love that. And then this, you guys, this would be a lot of stitching. Well, 116 by 91, maybe not too bad. I feel like I have to stitch this just based on the colors alone. Check this out. It's by Shannon Christine Designs Craft Room. And it says creativity happens here. But look at the colors. Like, how perfect would this be upstairs in my craft room? You know, that's now a dance studio and a home office, but someday will be my craft room again. So I love this. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm definitely going to stitch some of these, and some of them may end up as giveaways, but it was just, that was a fun, it's always fun to receive the surprise like that, and I so appreciate it. None of you ever have to send anything to me. I just do this and do giveaways because I enjoy the community and want to be an active participant in it. But packages like that, I feel like last week I was really dragging. I don't really know why. I think I do need to get out my light because it's starting to get dark here early and it's getting very gray. I do think I need to get out my happy light. It's that time of year for sure. But I just think it's just general stress and anxiety. And that definitely was a great pick-me-up. So that's all I have other than giveaway. Let's do giveaway. What did I do with them though? Hold on, I think I closed them into my planner. They were sitting here. Okay, what did I do with the giveaways? Did I move them? Hold please, I think I may have moved them and piled. There they are. I moved them and piled stuff up. Okay. So last week's giveaway was this adorable little prairie schooler, and I asked you if you wanted to stitch it to use the word moon because I thought this little moon was so funny and cute. And a couple of people mentioned that this month has 2 full moons, which I had forgotten about. So I'm gonna have to come up maybe next week with another moon pattern to give away. But this one goes to Rachel Wenzel. Rachel, you won. And I have all your information because you filled out my Google form. So this is headed your way. Thank you, Rachel. Okay, so this week's giveaway is actually a pattern that came, I believe, in last year's October So Much to Love bag because it says So Much to Love. And I'm pretty sure this came last October. And it is this adorable pumpkin pattern called Harvest Moon Frost Soon. The pattern's down here, so I'm covering it up. So you're not getting my fall pattern, but if you would like to stitch this adorable pumpkin pattern, then I just want you to use the word pumpkin. Maybe you can tell me, have you gotten your pumpkins yet? Have you been to the pumpkin patch? We have not. We need to do that probably this weekend. The kids are pretty busy. You know, the kids are getting to be that age that I'm not sure we went pumpkin picking last year. We always did. It was always a big family outing when the kids were little. I don't think we did last year with Sarah in school away at university, and they're just busy. They're big. They're big adults. They're pretty much all full adults now. So we'll see if we get around to it. We all enjoy going to the pumpkin patch. We all think carving pumpkins is going to be really fun, and then halfway through we are wondering why we did it. And half of us love roasted pumpkin seeds. So on balance, I think it's a fun, good thing to do. We'll see if it happens this weekend or not. Also has a lot to do with the weather. So, but if you would like to stitch this adorable little pumpkin pattern, put that somewhere in your comments and I will give that away next week. So I think that's it for, that's all I have this week. I think that was a lot. We covered a lot of ground. I hope everyone continues to be well and healthy. We have here in the US 15 days to Election Day. Please make sure you have your plan to vote. I know I've said this every week, but it is This is my soapbox and I am up on it. Make your plan to vote. Please vote early if you can. I will have a link below where there's detailed information for every state because it is different in every state. You cannot just look at what your friends are saying, how they're voting, what they're doing. Even neighbors in the same state, even friends in the same state, things vary by county. So please go right to your county election or your state election office and get the correct information there on how to vote and get it done. November 3rd is our last day. It's the last day to cast your vote. So if you don't have to wait till the last day, I mean, I'm a procrastinator on most things, but my ballot came on Friday and it is almost all filled out. There's like 2 propositions that I just need to take a little closer look at, and it will be dropped off at the ballot box this week, at the drop-off box this week. So hope you are all doing well. And for those of you who are not in the US and are tired of hearing about our elections, I'm so sorry. Hopefully this will all be over soon. In the meantime, have a wonderful stitchy week, and I'll see you right back here next time. Cheers.